Welcome back to The Doctors. I'm here with a renowned chef and author of Eat Like There's No Tomorrow, Hans Rueffert, who's going to show us some surprising side effects from the everyday foods that we enjoy at home and what we should look out for and ways we can prepare them to be more healthy. So we've got some good foods up here. What's first when it comes to side effects here?
Well, you know, there's this connection between what we eat and how we feel. And in me, with no stomach, that connection is really amplified. So, you know, if you eat fresh and vibrant foods, you feel fresh and vibrant. And if you eat these heavy, kind of dense foods, you feel kind of heavy and dense. And so that was sort of an epiphany for me, having lost my stomach. And so one of the things that some people have problems with is the acidity in food, and it sometimes can cause issues, sometimes diarrhea or a sour stomach. And there's some simple switches you can do there. So we've been sort of trained to think that a tomato is this, you know, sort of perfect red, shiny thing, when in fact there are so many brilliant and beautiful heirloom tomatoes which have oftentimes more nutritional value than these sort of hothouse tomatoes. And the green, when ripe, heirloom varieties have that tomato flavor you're looking for, but without the acidity.
So side effect of some tomatoes could be increased reflux symptoms if you're someone who suffers from that. So try the heirloom varieties.
Yep.
Reduction in acidity, maybe reduction in your reflux symptoms.
Absolutely, and just one of those don't judge a book by its cover. Like, it's the whole never trust a skinny chef and never distrust an ugly tomato, because honestly, the ugly ones sometimes are the best ones.
You know what? I'm going to start trying some different colored tomatoes.
It's worth it, absolutely.
So what's number 2 on the list?
So the other thing we kind of associate with especially digestion issues are spicy foods.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's one of the things I sort of had to give up a little bit. But usually when people add the spice to their food, what they end up doing is using these very vinegar and sugar-heavy sauces. And so that, again, it messes with the acidity of it's all about sort of the chemical pH balance of everything that's going through you. So when you have those crazy, it's almost like a macho thing to see how hot can we take it. Try, instead of using these heavily processed either rubs or sauces, try using the actual fresh ingredient, the thing that makes the sauces spicy in the first place, like fresh peppers. And what you can do to control the spiciness of the peppers, to actually go in and remove this white, which is what they call the ribs, as well as the seeds. That's where most of the heat lives in the pepper. So if you want the flavor of the chili, but not necessarily the intensity, you can go through and remove those.
I didn't know the white part is spicier.
Yeah, that's where
the area to cut out if you want to eliminate some of the spice.
Absolutely. And the other thing to do is, when you're eating these spicy foods, is try to incorporate some cooling foods. So things like yogurt or radishes or apples or cucumbers, fresh mint or fresh basil, that kind of helps the body absorb the impact of those, you know, those killer foods.
Because those spicy foods, they're good for you.
Oh, yeah.
If you can handle them.
Absolutely.
And what I love about what you've learned, and remember, everyone, Hans has 5% of his esophagus left. Most of us have that lower esophageal sphincter. So we eat really spicy or acidic foods, and that sphincter will close up, prevent it from coming back up our esophagus. You don't have that luxury.
No,
so if something's overwhelming, you feel it immediately. All good lessons for the rest of us. So we have,
the other kind of issue here is fried foods, and a lot of folks are guilty of going through the drive-thru and getting these very heavily, deeply fried foods. Rather than going the frying route, try things like grilling, you know, which is a fantastic high temp kind of searing in those flavors, or braising or broiling or baking. And so basically all you do is you take your chicken or your fish or your pork, you dredge it through a little flour, a little beaten eggs, and then into some broken cracker crumbs. And that way you get the kind of crunch that you're looking for from fried foods, but just by drizzle a little butter on top, throw it in the oven until it's nice and crisp and obviously done, and you get the sort of satisfying crunch without all that grease, which your body has a hard time
so you eliminate the side effects of all that grease, the increased reflux symptoms, potentially putting on extra pounds. You eliminate those side effects, and in the end, I think it tastes, like you said, fresher.
And probably 1/10 the amount of oil, but even 1/100th the amount of oil versus traditional fried food.
Hans, we really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
And congratulations on being through so much. We really appreciate it.